Now we can start creating the model of the house. First we have to switch into the Rooms window. In this window you can see the white space, and in this white space the tree of the structure of the building will be created. And we are creating the building story by story. So the first story to create will be the basement. So we'll add a new story with this button. And in the basic data, we have to write the symbol. So let's write basement. If you wish, you can describe it in the info field. Otherwise, it will be described automatically. And as you see, the program already inherited a lot of numbers from the global data. However, some data will be specific for the basement. So the ordinate is -2.6. The height of the room is 2.6 and the internal height 2.3. And we also have to write the level of the window, which is different. In this case, it's 1.3. And now I can switch into Plan View tab. Additionally, I can click here to get more space. And now let's import the plan view of the basement. Okay, okay, and yes. So this is the plan view imported from AutoCAD, and now I can model the walls by the ground. I will select the appropriate building component, and now if I come more or less in the right position in this corner, I can press and hold the space bar. That gave me such a very high zoom, and I can locate the beginning of this wall very precisely. Now I will click the mouse, and I have decided where the beginning of this wall should be. Now I can reach the space bar and I can see the whole plan view again. So I can move the mouse cursor more or less where the wall should finish. Again, I will press the space bar and locate the second end of the wall. And then again, the same technique for the next corner. And after getting a little practice, you can model the house very precise and fast at the same time. For the next corner, I don't even need to zoom in because the snapping tool will locate the position very precisely, and the same for the last corner. And now I can press Escape key. I can see these walls also in the 3D visualization. After creating the walls by the ground, now we can create the external walls, so the parts of the walls that are over the ground level. So let's select the appropriate wall. And now I don't even have to zoom in because the snapping tool will locate the external walls precisely over the walls by the ground, as you can see in the 3D visualization. With a very similar technique, we can now create the internal wall. So let's select the appropriate wall and now click and click. As you see, the snapping tool located the ends of the wall very precise. This tool is very powerful. In most cases, it helps really a lot. However, occasionally it may happen that it disturbs. It prevents you from drawing something what you wish. So if it's necessary, you can switch this function off by holding the Alt key. The next step will be creating windows. So let's select the appropriate window. this small one, because this is the basement window. And now I can just click. You can use the zoom tool if you wish. However, I believe I can do it precisely enough without zooming in. The precise location of the window, in most cases, it's not necessary for the heat calculations. However, if you wish to use these drawings, the plan view and the 3D visualization, so I would recommend to do it more or less precisely, especially that it's not really difficult to do that. And also we will need the internal door. We also need floors. And there are 3 methods of creating floors. You can see these 3 buttons, each one for each technique. The first technique is creating the floor as a polygon. It's the most flexible method, however also the slowest. The second method is creating the floor around the cursor. So if we click inside the room, we can create the floor with just one click. And the last method is this one with the lightning. It's the fastest because we can create automatically the floors in all the rooms. Just one remark. In this example, we've got a separate object for the floor in each room. It's possible, but it's also possible to have one big polygon for the floor in many rooms, as long as the structure of the floor is the same in all these rooms. That other possibility may be useful in case of big buildings with lots of rooms. So we've got almost everything. We don't need a ceiling because the ceiling will be created as the floor on the next story. However, we do need the room zones. The methods of creating the room zones are analogous to creating the floors. We can create a room zone as a polygon on the plan view. We can create it around the cursor, or we can create it automatically in the whole story. It's very tempting to use the last method because it's the fastest. However, in this case, we don't have an easy way of controlling the order of numbering the rooms. So a lot of people prefer the second method because it's still quite fast, but by clicking the rooms in the right order, you can control the order of the rooms. In this case, we have only 2 rooms and quite specific, so let's use this last method, and then we will be able to renumber the rooms manually. So this would be the basement. So let's put the symbol O1 and the type will be a basement, and let's say it will be unheated one. And the second room will be the staircase, so I will write the symbol SC, and the type will be the staircase. In fact, this is only the little part of the staircase, and on the next story we will create the other parts. And then, as long as we use the same symbol on all the stories, SC in this case, the program will glue it together, will treat it as one big room. this is just a part of the building. However, I would already try to import it, first for practice, and second, to ensure that everything is alright. Because if we committed some mistakes, it would be better to correct them now. So let's click the button Import 3D Model. First, the program checked whether it's alright, whether there aren't any big serious mistakes preventing the import, but it looks alright, so now I can click the Import button. And if I switch into the structure of the building, as you see, the program added two elements. These are these two rooms, the basement and the staircase. And we've got also the visualization of the imported data, and it's good to have a look at them separately, room by room, to check visually whether this data makes sense. It looks alright for me.